It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, proudly South African, waving our flags, recognizing the fact that the youth are the leaders and the future of this country. And so we are all concerned about health issues that affect the youth today. And that's why we have Dr. Darren Green here. Earlier on, we spoke about teenage pregnancy, but now we want to touch on a little bit of mental health as a concern for youth health, as well as the link between mental health and substance abuse. But let's first just take on mental health. How much of a problem is it?
Well, our recent national survey has demonstrated that up to 24% of our youth aged between grade 8 and grade 12 have experienced feelings of hopelessness or severe sadness. Up to 21% of them have actually thought about suicide as an exit plan or an escape from, from these feelings. The most common ones are obviously things related to things like performance anxiety or anxiety disorders. Then we have what's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, in view of our country's crime and exposure to all these, challenging negative aspects of a lot of our population. And then after that, mood disorders, which are things like depression or anxiety disorder as such. Substance abuse is linked to mental, to mental health in our youth. You can imagine if you're feeling down in the dumps and you're looking at the world through a pair of sunglasses that make everything look dark, you're going to sometimes clutch at straws to help you get out of that as a quick fix and so forth. So a lot of kids take things like cat or cocaine to up their mood, to help them with energy when they're feeling down and in the dumps with low energy levels, a fear or anxiety of socializing. They look for substances to help them, cope and also recover from the anxiety and depression.
So as we said in the beginning with teenage pregnancy, and I think it's the same here, it all starts at home. So how do parents begin to identify the fact that their child might be exposed or might have some kind of mental health issue that will lead to substance abuse, that will lead to possible thoughts of suicide? How do they begin to identify that?
Ken, I think the first problem is that we don't have present parents. And being a present parent means you need to spend time with your kids. And it's as simple as that, not spending time knowing what your child's going through, knowing their dialogue, knowing how their basic day looks and what they're going through in terms of their social interactions, their relationships at school, their academic interactions, etc., and, just where they are at emotionally. So I think the first problem is we need to definitely spend some quality time with our children and actually make a concerted effort to understand their world a little bit better, not for what we can get out of it, but really because we genuinely care about what's going on in their lives.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about ADHD and Ritalin use.
Very, 30 years ago, no one would speak about ADHD. Everyone would speak about a naughty child. They just don't want to sit still. They don't want to listen. They're disruptive. So nowadays, obviously, with the emergence of all the psychiatry classifications of concentration, impairment, etc., people are very, very quick in terms of our education systems to obviously refer children for assessment for attention deficit or ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So where you not only have impaired concentration and difficulty concentrating, listening to the teacher, doing your work and so on, but also you struggle to sit still. So you're fidgety and you can become quite disruptive. The problem nowadays is before a complete assessment is done, and even at a very young age, what is age-appropriate behavior for a 3-year-old, for example, or a 4-year-old that is a busybody and inquiring, curious mind? So to label children very early is quite dangerous, and also obviously to start them on long-term therapy with drugs such as Ritalin can also be harmful if the diagnosis is incorrect.
Well, Doctor, thank you very much. As always, we appreciate your time and your expertise.
Absolute pleasure.
Medical Tuesday, celebrating Youth Day. And of course, one can, I think, summarize by saying that the health of our youth is the health of our nation.